in the pursuit of a healthier lifestyle, he never expected his journey to lead him to a heart-wrenching discovery. Join us as we unravel the raw emotions and unexpected turns in the life of a man who, while striving for fitness, found his spouse entangled in a compromising situation with her personal trainer. The Aftermath, a powerful story of resilience, self-discovery, and the transformative power of facing life's most unexpected challenges head-on. This is a tale of heartbreak, strength, and the pursuit of healing after the echoes of betrayal. Let's get on with the story. I caught my wife in bed with her personal trainer. Oh boy, this is long. It's me, a 44-year-old male, and my soon-to-be ex-wife, 39 years old, have been married for 11 years with no kids. We were a pretty chubby couple until 2 years ago when I had a blood test and it came out that I was prone to contracting diabetes, gout, and hypertension. It really scared me, and we both, bit by bit, started to have a very healthy life. I went from 258 pounds to 187 pounds, and my wife, let's call her Jane, from 183 pounds to 143 pounds. We felt great, and needless to say, I never developed those diseases. We attended to a gym almost daily in the afternoon where my wife's AP worked as a coach. Let's call him Baldy. When my wife started getting in shape, I noticed most guys turned to see her. I felt so proud of her. She is fairly busty and she has magnificent legs. Of course, Baldy wasn't the exception. I noticed Baldy likes to check women's butts. I've seen him doing it several times, and he likes to show off how ripped he is. When Jane and I were regulars at the gym, I noticed she was enjoying the attention she got from men. Once, we were using the elliptical machines, and in front of them, there was a cable machine. Baldy took off his t-shirt and started doing cable crossovers. I turned to Jane with a look on my face that said, "Can you believe this guy?" But she was staring at him and she wet her lips. I saw Baldy and I swear he was grinning. I felt crushed. I mean, I was getting shape, but I am not as muscular and fit as Baldy. When we were driving home, I made a comment about Baldy showing off, and Jane said, "Really?" I didn't notice. I told her, "You were staring." She said, "I don't remember. I must have been thinking about something else." I shrugged it off and kept driving, but from there on, I noticed they were talking more frequently at the gym. Some weeks later, Jane was doing squats using the Smith machine. Suddenly, Baldy went to help her. Oh, isn't he nice? He was grabbing her by the waist and I got angry. He finished the first set and I got there and told him in a not nice way, "I got it from here." Baldy just smiled and told me, "No problem, buddy." He calls everybody buddy, and walked off. Jane knows me very well, and when she heard my angry tone, she said, "My God, OP." I told her, "We'll discuss this at home." At home drama blew up. She called me immature and jealous. I told her I noticed Baldy was trying to get into her pants. She said that she knows that, but she would never cheat on me. I said, then why would she let him touch her? And she said she didn't want to be rude. About an hour after arguing, we agreed to change gyms. So we went to another place to exercise, but Jane was resentful of me in the following months. Her argument was that I didn't trust her. On the third month after we changed gyms, a very good opportunity opened up in my job, but in the afternoon. We discussed it and I took the job, so we had to hit the gym at different hours. I went in the morning and Jane in the afternoon. This is when it all went south. Jane's resentment increased and we barely spoke. I would send her messages telling her about my day, that I miss her, memes, etc. But she rarely replied, and when she did, it would just be, "Yes, okay, same here." I was very worried this change and proposed couples therapy. Yeah, she said I was the one who needs therapy because I'm the one with the trust issues. I agreed. I was so desperate to fix our marriage that I even thought it was all my fault. So the following year, 2022, I went to therapy, but Jane's behavior didn't change. We weren't intimate anymore. She was never in the mood. I snooped on her cell phone, but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. I looked inside her car for a second phone, nothing. I checked her phone again to see her map history. It only showed me house, work, house gym, house. Whenever I tried to talk to her, she just said she feels that she's having a 40s phase. It'll pass. I never had any evidence of cheating, so I continued working and worrying. We live in a condo. The security guard, a very cheerful man called Mr. P, always greets me. We chat a lot. One particular day during our chat, he was touching his shoulder and told me yesterday he had to move a heavy sofa and he has some pain today. I was sympathetic, and then he dropped the bomb. Maybe you can arrange a meeting with your massage therapist. I asked him, who? He said the guy who came yesterday to massage Mrs. Jane. It took me a second to process this. I asked him, do you have a video of him? I think he noticed I was pale and hurried to show me. Guess who? Baldy, of course. He has come a few times to massage my wife. I took the day off and started investigating. I asked a coworker for his car, and in the afternoon, I followed Jane. She parked her car at the mall where the gym is, and there's Baldy waiting for her. They giggle and behave like a couple, kisses, hugs, and meanwhile, I feel like I'm gonna cry. They walk a couple blocks and go into a residential area. I tried to follow them with my phone ready to record, but the guard stopped me and asked, "Can I help you?" I just said, "What a nice couple. Do you know them?" He said he thinks they're newlyweds, but can't tell me anything else. So I called Jane on her phone, but she never answered. I went to her car in the mall and wondered why the place doesn't show in her map history. I dial again and I can hear her phone inside her car. That's why. I also found out Jane hasn't gone to the gym in 8 months. I didn't know that the previous night was the last day I would ever sleep with Jane in the same bed. I returned to my car and went home and called my parents. Fortunately, my dad answered and I told him everything. I was crying and he comforted me and told me to get evidence. Obviously, my marriage is over and I need all I can gather while he'll contact one of his friends who is an excellent divorce lawyer. Jane called me when she saw the 2 missing calls. I just told her I was already at home and she told me I'm on my way from the gym. My butt is killing me.
Yeah.
Right? I can guess why. When she saw me, she immediately asked, "What happened? Why were you crying?" I don't know how, but I was mentally focused enough to smile and tell her I got the flu, which is why I left work early. I said, "Don't come near me. It might be the bug. I'll get tested tomorrow. I'll sleep in the spare room." She agreed. I cried silently and didn't sleep a wink. Then at nearly midnight, I heard her giggling. So I guess she was messaging Baldy, but I didn't find any evidence of her contacting another man. Then it hit me, why didn't I see it earlier? I bet AP's number is disguised as one of Jane's female coworkers on her contact list. In the morning, while Jane was in the shower, I took her phone and created a remote session on my laptop and put her phone back in the same place. We both can unlock each other's phones. The session works while the phone is close to my laptop or on the same Wi-Fi account. Then I saw it under a female name. The profile picture was a dumbbell. I entered into chat history and most of the conversations were deleted. I guess they use work words as code in case I snooped. Stuff like, "Can you deliver the papers on my desk?" I know she doesn't have a desk at work. Other conversations would continue with, "Going to the meeting. Where are you?" On the top of most of them is, "Boss is in his office. He's clueless." Pretty clever. I guess I am boss because I know her boss is actually a woman. Jane got out of the shower and saw me and said, "You look worse. Why don't stay with your parents?" I denied the idea while thinking of getting evidence. After Jane went out, I contacted my dad and he gave me the name and number of the lawyer. I called him and explained everything. He told me the messages I took from my laptop are useless. They don't have any factual evidence since it's not AP's name, and she was smart enough to leave pieces of conversation that looks pretty innocent. I can take pictures of them at the mall, but she can argue they are just good friends and I can't invade the residential area they sneak off to without permission because it might get me into more trouble. At work, I was in zombie mode thinking about how to get evidence. I might install secret cameras in my house, but Baldy rarely goes to my home and Jane might find them, unless I'm out of the picture. I texted Jane and told her I'm positive of the bug and I'll stay at my parents because I might need help. She liked the idea and told me she would miss me, but she'll call me every day. When I hung up, I called my dad and my brother. TX is when I got home. She had already packed a suitcase for me. She was so eager of getting rid of me. I told her I'll take my laptop, and then I checked her messages. "Boss will be out of the office. Want to come to my desk?" She sent this message almost right after I told her I was positive for the bug. Good, she bit on the bait. We didn't have dinner, no kisses, no hugs. I noticed her looking at her watch twice. From the door, I told her, "I'll miss you." I was expecting her to shut the door in my face, but she walked me to my car. And I was gone. My dad and brother were outside the building waiting for Baldy to appear, but he didn't show up. After half an hour, I thought, why did Jane walk me to my car? Of course, because Baldy was already inside the building waiting, perhaps inside her car. It would be very suspicious if her massage therapist came at this hour. I came back, hurried to my condo unit, and entered silently. I heard music coming from the bedroom along with the moaning. Next to the door, there is a sofa. Both of their clothes were on it. I switched my phone to record video and opened the bedroom door. There she was, my wife, the love of my life for 11 years, on all fours with Baldy behind her. I got a very good amount of footage of both of their faces when they saw me open the door. Jane screamed and covered herself with the blanket. Baldy went alpha male, immediately walking naked towards me. I took a shot of him doing my wife raw. He yelled aggressively at me, "Why don't you go for a walk, buddy?" Suddenly, I hit his throat with my palm. I saw this move from a Mel Gibson movie. The next second, Baldy was coughing and gasping while kneeling on the floor. I yelled, "Get out of my place," while grabbing him and kicking him out. I threw his clothes at him when my dad, brother, and Mr. P were arriving to my place. I told them, "I'll take it from here," and closed the door. Jane was still on the bed, covering herself. She was trembling. I told her, "I have never hurt you, nor would I ever. Get dressed. I'll wait for you in the living room." While I was waiting, I sent the video to my lawyer, and he answered, "I'm sorry for you, but jackpot." A few minutes later, Jane showed up. She couldn't look at me in the eyes. I started recording the conversation. I asked why she didn't answer. "Was I such an awful husband to you?" She started crying but didn't answer. "Do you love him?" She shook her head, but no words. I stood up and hit the table. "Say something, Jane." Damn it, she opened her eyes wide and started trembling again, like a puppy when it's scared. I have never yelled at her before. I sat and talked calmly. "My lawyer will contact you for the divorce. Get a lawyer." She finally spoke. "We can fix this." Fix what? "Our marriage was over since Baldy was in the picture, and you chose him over me. It was a mistake." And no, it wasn't. It was a choice you chose, and this is the consequence. "What did you think would happen when I find out?" Silence again. "Go to your sisters and tell her the truth, or I will, show her the video. Like she went to the bedroom and started packing." I followed her and watched this. Since 2 days ago, I was trying to convince myself my wife is long gone. The person who I shared my home with is not my wife. But seeing her putting her clothes inside the suitcase neatly with her gracious movements and those little things I love of her really hit me hard. I went to the spare room and started ugly crying. I heard when she closed the main door. She picked up her clothes that were on the sofa. She made the bed where I caught them and I dropped on the floor. Later on, I called my dad. He told me Baldy wanted to press charges, but Mr. P told him he didn't sign in, so he's trespassing and the condo can sue him. Baldy dropped it and went out. My nosy brother pressed his ear on the door, so my dad took him by his other ear to his car. I was exhausted. The previous days I didn't sleep well, so I almost passed out in the spare room. The next morning, my phone had a lot of messages from Jane apologizing and asking for a second chance. I just blocked her. My sister-in-law called me. Apparently, Jane hasn't told her what happened. She just said that we're fighting. I guess it's good my father-in-law is not alive to see Jane's behavior. She was the youngest and his favorite. My mother-in-law is senile and has dementia. Anyway, all of this happened a week ago. Next week, Jane is going to be served the divorce papers. Update. It's been 12 days since the incident, which I'm calling D-Day. What have I been doing since then? D-Day +1. Friday, I had a nice chat with Mr. P. He confessed that he actually faked his shoulder pain. He just wanted to open up with a story to warn me about Baldy. Also, he told me a very nosy neighbor saw when I kicked Baldy naked from my apartment. Yeah, I'm sure in a week, all of the condo will know my situation. My brother came to help me change the lock on the door. When he left, I felt so alone and cried a lot. I called my job to ask for a day off. At night, I spoke to my lawyer who said he's making the divorce papers. He couldn't start until he had the evidence. So my divorce will be divorced by mutual consent, which is smoother than an uncaused divorce that would take longer and is pretty nasty. Also, he told me not to share the video. Jane will be served in 2 weeks. My sister-in-law called me, but I told her to ask Jane why we're divorcing. D-Day +2, Saturday. My sister-in-law came and I showed her the video. I drove her home and saw Jane's car. When I got home, I still felt crushed and cried some more. D-Day +3, Sunday. I visited my parents. My mom cried with me. She really loved Jane. My dad had a chat with me about my money, properties, and stuff. When I returned home, Mr. P told me Jane and Baldy showed up. I guess they were gonna make their relationship public now that the cat is out of the bag. But strangely, I am at different times. Jane came in the morning. She parked her car and saw mine wasn't there. She tried to enter my place, but her key doesn't work anymore. Then she asked Mr. P if he knew where I went. He didn't know and told her, "Mr. O.P. gave me this for you." It was my attorney's business card, which she kept and left. Baldy came in the afternoon and first asked to see Jane. Mr. P told him Mrs. Jane, emphasis on Mrs. doesn't live here anymore. Then asked to see me, and Mr. P told him Mr. O.P. is away, no idea when he'll return. And he left. I guess they both are not in contact yet. I wanted to ask about Jane. Is she sad? Did she look healthy? Did she ask about my well-being? But then I remembered D-Day and just thanked and said goodnight to Mr. P. When I got home, I cried a lot again. D-Day +4, Monday. I didn't want to, but something I learned from all of you champions is to hit the gym hard. So I looked for a new gym near my job and had a good session. I felt pretty good. Then I returned to work. At home, I didn't cry this time, started taking out all of Jane's pictures. D-Day +5. Tuesday, had a meeting with my lawyer to review my assets. Fortunately, my dad made Jane sign a prenup, so she can't touch anything I had before we got married. My condo mainly. All remaining stuff gets divided 50-50, and I can also get compensation for her adultery. As compensation, I'm going to take it out of the alimony. I can fight for all this stuff, but everything reminds me of her, and I want to start anew. When I left home, I heard whispers. I turned my head and saw two neighbors that immediately pretended they didn't see me. They walked in front of me and greeted me. I knew this would happen. After that, I went to the gym and work. This repeats all week, so I'm gonna commit. D-Day +6. Wednesday, nothing interesting. I only have FBA as social media. I ignore all DMs asking me to contact Jane. I closed it and opened Reddit and had a nice time reading about all you champions who overcame what I have been experiencing. I felt better. So I thought of sharing my own experience. D-Day +7. Thursday, I started writing my story. I posted it before going to the gym. When I was at work, it amazed me how many people were reacting to my story. I answered some comments. D-Day +8 Friday, I was reading comments and answering all morning. I was smiling, feels good to be appreciated. 2 comments stuck in my mind that I didn't think about. 1, report AP to my old gym, and 2, my home is tainted. I need a fresh start. So before I went to the gym, I looked for real estate agents to sell or rent out my unit. I'm not comfortable here anymore. I haven't entered my bedroom since D-Day. I've been sleeping in the spare room. I don't want to live like this. D-Day +9. Saturday, since Jane would come and bother me, I decided to spend the day outside. She did come, then she visited my parents and brother. They just texted me Jane came. I answered, thank you. I don't want to talk about her yet. D-Day +10. Sunday, I spent the day with my parents. We visited a town 2 hours from the city and had a blast. I don't know if Jane came. My dad told me not to sell my house, but to rent it. I agree and went home. When I got home, Mr. P told me Baldy came in the afternoon and alone again. He asked for me, but Mr. P told him I'm away. He left without a word. D-Day +11. Monday morning, I went to my old gym. I was not sure if I'd meet Baldy. He worked in the afternoon, but he was screwing my wife in the afternoon, so I thought he's changed his shift. He was nowhere. I asked to talk to Frank, the gym owner, while I was waiting for him. I met an old janitor I used to chat with. He told me to say hi to Miss Jane. I guess my new normal is to tell everybody we split up. I smiled at him. Frank finally received me. I asked about Baldy. He told me Monday is his day off. He asked for more hours, and now he works from Tuesday to Sunday in the morning. Then I explained the reason of my visit. He listened carefully until I finished and finally showed him the video. He stayed silent thinking. He said, "You're not gonna like this." I just thought, what now? Frank called the receptionist to bring Harry, another coach and Baldy's friend. He has a big beard. Frank asked him to tell me about Baldy's girlfriend. Fasten your seatbelts. This is good. According to Harry, Baldy is heads over heels for Jane, and Frank confirmed it. He told me Baldy had many complaints, especially from female members, but for the last few months he has changed. No complaints, and he's very professional to all members, and Harry told me something that made my jaw drop. Baldy is trying to marry Jane by baby trapping her. I was processing this information when I felt something starting from my chest. It climbed up my throat and finally blew up in my mouth. I laughed. I swear I was Joker madly laughing. I even teared a bit. Frank and Harry were very confused. I thought, oh, sweet karma, thank you. After that, I calmed down. But with a big grin on my face, Harry asked what was going on, and Frank explained this is Baldy's girlfriend's husband. Harry made a shocked face. Oh man, this is bad. This is really messed up. Harry left. Next, we discussed about firing Baldy. Frank said he has to report the situation to the coach association, not real name, and he surely has to fire him because Jane was a gym member or Frank's gym could have legal repercussions about his license as coach. I need to make a legal document explaining Baldy is the reason of my divorce, the filing number of my divorce case, and the video. My attorney will give the video to the coach association's attorney since I can't share it. Baldy will lose his license from that association, but he can go to another association and apply for another license. It'd take months though. I asked if Baldy can appeal. Frank said he might, but it would be a waste of energy. The association does not tolerate such conduct. Also, he doesn't have the money to pay for somebody who represents him. So that reminded me of the residential area where he entered with Jane. I thought Baldy was wealthy. Frank brought his face closer to me. What residential area? I showed on the Maps app. You tailed them to this place. I did on D-Day -1. Frank got angry. That's where my late father's house is. After Frank's father passed away, he inherited the house. All the equipment that's obsolete or needs repair goes to that house. He lent Baldy the key to go and keep some stuff occasionally, but he does not have permission to stay there. He surely has a copy of the key, and he might be living there illegally. He's gonna investigate this further. It'll be easy since there are tons of cameras in that place. I was leaving the gym when I heard, wait, it was Harry. He told me he was sorry about what's happening. Baldy never told him details on his girlfriend. He just said that he met her at the mall. I thanked him and took a step towards the exit. He rushed and asked, can you tell me what happened? I told him pretty much what you heard. He was screwing my wife and now I'm divorcing her. I took another step and he asked what will happen to Baldy. Well, that depends on Frank and the coach association. I tried to take another step and then he asked, but how are you handling it? Okay, now this is strange. I stared at Harry and remembered Baldy went to my house twice. I said, you called Baldy and he's on his way here, right? You were just buying time. Am I wrong? He made a guilty face. Please, Mr. OP, talk to him. He's really desperate. He was crying yesterday. His girlfriend, I mean your wife, isn't returning his calls. Tell me, why should I care if he's rotten in hell? I'll be here with you, so don't be scared. As scared of that weakling, he didn't tell you I kicked him out of my house naked, right? Harry didn't believe me. Fine, let's see what he wants. I saw there are cameras where we're talking and sat in front of a table in the reception. I don't think Baldy is stupid enough to attack me, but who knows? Besides, I'm really curious about what he wants. He came running 10 minutes later and saw me waiting for him. He extended his hand. I crossed my arms and left him with the hand hanging. What the hell you want? I looked angrily directly to his eyes. Sat in front of me. Listen, buddy, stop right there. We're not buddies. Mr. S, the janitor, is my buddy. You are not. He seemed apologetic. Okay, my bad. I want to say, I'm sorry for everything. I never wanted to hurt you and I really care about Jane. Well, you just said 3 lies to my face. You are not sorry. You didn't mean to destroy my life and you just care about yourself. He changed from apologetic to annoyed. Okay, whatever, man. Just tell me where Jane is. Last time I saw her was when I kicked her cheating ass out of my house after I kicked you out naked. I know Harry was listening. Baldy's face changed color to red. That was a cheap shot. I should sue you. As far as I know, you entered my home illegally and perhaps you were raping my wife. I have videos of you getting out, but you didn't sign in. He changed again. Okay, I'm sorry. Tell me what you want from me. Please tell Jane I need to speak to her. In that moment, Frank came in a rush. I guess he saw through the cameras that Baldy showed up. Is everything okay here? Everything is fine, Frank. I was just telling the sissy what I want. I stand up and talk close to Baldy's face. What I want is what is coming for you. What you deserve. What the law is prepared for you. I want to crush your dreams just like you did with mine. You want kids. Guess what? You won't and you will never have. Baldy said, what's that supposed to mean? But Frank asked him to see him in his office. Harry looked impressed. He grabbed Baldy's arm and pulled him. Dude, you're in deep shit. I finally left. D-Day plus 12. Tuesday. I feel I am ready to face Jane now. I'm still grinning while I type this. So how have you been? Well, that's all, folks. Please let us know what you think in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you next time on another video of Cheating Wife, manly advice. Peace out.